I have to ask you about your relationship to Angela Merkel. On the one hand, around the migration topic, it was almost your antagonist. Conceptually, the difference couldn't be bigger. On the other hand, you just received her here in Hungary, and you said something like, had Angela Merkel been in power and we had been working together, this war with Putin never had happened. Can you explain that? Where is your...
Many questions in the one basket. Okay, the first of all, I always respect the leader of the Germans. Germany is a big culture, big civilizational achievement with a big history. Lot of mistakes, but you know, each of them has mistakes. So I'm very much respectful to the Germans and Germany as they are. They have elected leader, you know, I give the respect. That's the first. Even I disagree on all the issues because this is the fact. The second is, I respected Angela Merkel for various reasons because he was a very smart and basically nice person, you know. In politics, sometimes it counts. So I like to cooperate with him. We disagree on that. Even she shouted on me anyway sometimes, and that was not good, more than my wife anyway.
But that means a lot? Or?
Sometimes happened, but anyway. So she's tougher than she looks like anyway. She is an open-minded person, intellectual. Never used just power because I'm a German, I am powerful. Viktor, it's over. He always tried to say, okay, I'm ready to understand your argument. I have my own. Let's discuss it. So that attitude now, it's not anymore there. So with her, it was far easier. The third thing is that we, as intellectuals, we identified where we agree and where we don't agree. And on migration, it was obvious that never in our life. It's impossible. Then I identified that we will never agree on Green Deal. I was always against that kind of Green Deal. And to close the nuclear power station, I was always against it. On the third point, strategically, what is the interest of Europe? What is the relation to Russia? I almost 100% agreed with her. There was moments at the European Council when she was the only one and me who argued on the same platform for peace and cooperation. So I think I follow what's going on in Germany. So I'm not a stupid guy. I know what's going on. And now it's quite fashionable to say bad things on her. It's not fair. It's not fair. She did good things for Germany and good things for Europe, and of course some bad things as well. So to be correct or fair is important in politics. And on the Russian issue, she was right. If she would have been the chancellor at the moment when the war has broken out, no war. I would, because she would immediately call Putin.
And one telephone call would have convinced him to stop?
But the one telephone is just the first one. And then continue, and then dialogue, and dialogue can stop.
What would have been then the reaction? Less military counteraction or more? Or what would have been the concept behind it to convince him?
Okay, let's use the experiences. She did well at the Minsk. So the war erupted 2022, but the first real dangerous moment was 2014. And she managed very, very well. Now she's criticized for Minsk. It's not fair. It was a good deal. It was a masterpiece. And we have got close a decade to prepare ourselves for a confrontation or to management of the crisis. And one more point. I try to be as polite as I can to all the chancellors. You know, I cooperated with 5 chancellors of Germany. And I was there. I have seen, I'm a witness, how the Americans pushed the Germans into that war. So don't forget that it was not your choice. I don't know how it is interpreted now in Germany, but the war, pro-war, was not your choice. Even Chancellor Scholz resisted.
But out of which agenda? Why would the Americans have an interest in starting a war?
Okay, so just go back to the facts. So the German Chancellor fought for weeks and months not to let Germany to be involved into that war more and more and more. But the Democratic administration of Biden pushed all of us, not me because I resisted and quit, but the Germans pushed into that war. And I said to Scholz and to everybody on the table that, guys, if you accept the pressure coming from Biden and push you into the war, there will be a moment will come when the Americans will pull out and we remain alone. Don't do that. This is exactly the situation where we are. So